Hello, welcome back. Today I am answering another subscriber question on whether or not you should persist with the story after your manifestation has come into reality. Great question, and I'm going to answer it in this video, so stick around. My name is Hedley Derenzie and I am a qualified life coach and author. I'm also super passionate about the amazing teachings of the law of assumption as originally taught by the great American mystic Neville. It is the stories that we tell that creates our life. So if you want to change your life, you need to start by changing the story. And if you want to create the most amazing life, you need to know how to tell the most amazing stories. And that is why I am here. Since rediscovering these teachings, I'm telling myself much better stories, and I want to help you to do the same because it's so much fun. If you would like further support with this, I am available for one-to-one coaching. I also have a free 21-day Set Yourself Up with the Ultimate Self-Concept course available for instant access, or if you want to stay connected, I am on Instagram. All of those details are in the box below. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so today I wanted to answer one of your questions on should you continue with persisting with the story after your manifestation has come into reality? Because this is a really great question and a great topic, so I thought I'll make a video on it. And I just wanted to read out the question specifically so that you know exactly what it is about, because perhaps you've had this same question too. So this comes from one of my wonderful subscribers and also good friend. Hi Vicky, nice to see you here. So you wrote a little question. Once a manifestation works, is it best to keep running that story to reinforce it or just let it go? So that is something I'm assuming that some others of you have been wondering as well. The answer to the question very simply is yes, absolutely. You want to be persisting with the new story until it is very much a truth for you. I did a video called Assumptions, Facts and Truth, and I'll link that up here. Oh man, I get confused again. I'm going to go there. And in fact, yes, I'm going to stop saying that I get confused by that because that is just a story and it's not true. I know exactly where these videos go. When I was talking about the concepts of assumptions, facts, and truth are two different things. And just because something is a fact does not make it true. I'll give you a quick breakdown. So an assumption is something that we take up into ourselves, into our consciousness. So it's a thought, a belief that we have taken on, taken in, we've received either from within or from reality. We've taken it up into ourselves, into our consciousness, and we've held that there as a belief or thought, an assumption. So we've assumed something into our consciousness, meaning we've held that thought or belief in consciousness. Now, when we do that, when we persist with an assumption, it solidifies into a fact. And a fact is just simply an occurrence, an event, a condition, a state in our physical world, based on the original definition of the word. A fact doesn't become truth unless we decide for it to become true, meaning unless we decide to persist with the assumption that created the fact in the first place. Because a fact doesn't equal truth, meaning that the word truth came into the definition of fact about a century after the original definition of the word fact. So up until that point, they were two different things, and that's what we're returning to. If something is a fact, meaning an external event in your physical reality, you can decide whether that's something that you are wanting to experience more of or not. And if it's not, you go within to consciousness and you change the assumption. Or if it is something that you want to persist with, you just continue to hold that assumption in consciousness and create more facts, and you create a little whirlpool, a cycle of assumption and fact, which then produces a truth, meaning you've embedded that into consciousness and it's now true and you don't question it. So what happens is when we are working with our assumptions and bringing in a new fact into our reality, that is not yet embedded in consciousness. It's not yet true for us. It's just a fact. And that is why we want to persist with the assumption, especially if it's favorable. We want to persist with that assumption that created the fact, creating that whirlpool of consciousness that creates that truth, embeds that truth in consciousness to where we no longer question the assumption, we no longer question the fact. That is the way it is, and that is true for us. I will give you an example of when I brought in my last specific person. First of all, I had a specific person at the beginning of last year when I rediscovered these teachings, and I worked with that person and the new teachings, and I realized I wanted to bring in somebody new. So they left and I worked on a new story and a new type of person. And a few months after that, I brought in this person. It was like everything I wanted to experience in a relationship. It was like, oh my God, this shit really does work. Like, this person was showing up exactly as I had been imagining, and they were even saying some of the things that I had been affirming. Like, he actually said to me, I choose you, I'm choosing you. And I'm like, holy shit, no one's ever said that to me before. And I had been working with that specific phrase where my partner says to me, I choose you, because I'd never felt chosen before. I'd never had anybody choose me before because I'd had so many shitty fucking stories. They're all gone. So that was one of the terms that I was really working with, that I am choosing who I'm chosen by, and I am chosen by this person, and this person is saying, I choose you. And sure enough, this person said that to me, and I was like, whoa, this is awesome. What was interesting was, because I was so swept up in the relationship, I kind of let my daily practice go a little bit, because like, we were spending all our time together, we were off going surfing, we were doing all these really cool things, and so law of assumption kind of went out of the window a little bit. I mean, I was still talking about it, but I definitely wasn't doing my work, my practice, because it was so exciting, it was so fun, and I just wanted to hang out with this person. So, you know, lesson learned. And what was really interesting was that as the relationship progressed, I could just start to feel the old stuff, the old story popping up, and little things would happen, and it was like the old familiar story. I could just see the behaviors starting, and I could just see my fears coming up and my insecurities, and I just couldn't catch it. It was building and building and building, and because I hadn't stuck with the teachings to really embed this new reality for myself, I sort of just got lost in reality again, as we do, you know, we're all human. But I wasn't reinforcing the new story. Then the old story, because that had been around for so long and that was so familiar, that really started to bubble up to the surface, and then it all blew up and I bailed and off we go. You know, it's all a learning process. And I'm going to do another video on this, just off topic a little bit. It's okay to start again with new specific people. Like, you do not have to continue to, you can if you want. You can absolutely work with the same specific person. Personally, for me, I like to take what I've learned and then rework in consciousness, and then just let reality bring the next person in, whether it's the same person or another person. I'm actually not attached to it. I am just committed to myself and to the teachings. But what I have learned from that last experience is that what's super important going into my next relationship is my daily practice with this, that I have to absolutely stick with this practice and the stories. And even when that comes in, and even when things are amazing, like, that's the time to be doing the work, because that's often the time where we don't do the work and we fall off. That's a perfect opportunity for that old story that's been there for so long to creep in and start to sabotage everything. So you always want to be working in consciousness, especially when the new manifestation comes in. In fact, when it comes in, that's absolutely the time to really like knuckle down and embed that story. And if those are facts that you want to experience in your reality, then you absolutely must be affirming those assumptions that created that fact, because that will then, that whirlpool of assumptions and facts will create a truth, because you're embedding, you're like, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want to keep happening. I want more of this. This feels good. This is what I've been working towards. And now that it's here, I am going to absolutely affirm that it is staying around. So you definitely want to keep doing the work. So I hope that has answered your question. Such a great question. And it's definitely something that I am working with myself, because I absolutely didn't do it in that last experience that I just shared with you. And that's what happens. You know, we're working with consciousness. We're working with new stories and old stories. And if you've had a old story there that's been there for a really long time, got a new story that comes in, it's fragile ground. You're still vulnerable. You haven't set that reality. The cake hasn't set. It's out and it looks great and it looks amazing, but you just want to give it time. You just want to let that cake set, and that means keep doing the work, keep telling the story, keep reaffirming what it is that you were affirming to bring that fact into reality. So definitely persist with those assumptions of the facts that you want to continue to bring into your reality, so that you can firmly embed that and create a truth in consciousness. I hope that has helped. Please remember, you are the creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you and assume the best for everyone in your movie too, and you will have the most amazing life and this is my wish for you. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to share with family and friends. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, I would love to have you, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks. Bye.